morning, velomobile building fans. Today is a big day. Today the weather is favorable for some carbon fiber layup, and I have one big thing that I need to do and one littler thing that I'd like to get done too. The big thing is that I think I'm ready to lay up the bridge, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some flash tape around here and also around the sides and the back and everything, every place that any epoxy resin might get to and cause this to accidentally stick. And then I'm going to lay up the bridge over top of that, and then once it's dry I'm going to attempt to pull it back out. The reason that I want to do that is because it's not perfectly flush here at the sides and the bottom, and while I could sit here and spend hours trying to get an absolutely perfect fit, I think it would be easier just to glue the bridge in after the fact, which I'm gonna have to do anyway. So I figure I might as well just lay it up in here, then I know that I've got it fit just right. I can slide it out the back, and then I can glue it back in. Some people have suggested Sikaflex or some epoxy resin with something like micro balloons or something mixed in. So I still need to get the exact glue that I need set, but that's what I'm going to do. And the other smaller project is I do need to get this covered in here, and it's just an exterior covering. It's not going to be anything structural, but I just need to get this area covered up, and I think I'll do that probably with some carbon fiber. I don't think I have enough fiberglass on hand to do it, but I have plenty of carbon fiber, and I've got another 5 yards that's coming. And speaking of the 5 yards that's coming, I placed a big order with some unidirectional at Express Composites on Wednesday, and I selected FedEx 2-day shipping, thinking, okay, 2 days, Wednesday to Thursday to Friday, right? Today is Friday. This is when I'm doing it. Well, FedEx 2-day shipping didn't bother to pick it up until late in the day yesterday, and it turns out that despite charging extra for 2-day shipping, they don't ship on the weekends. Had I chosen the less expensive normal FedEx shipping, it would probably have arrived tomorrow, and then I might have had time to play around with some layup on Sunday or something. But nope, they don't ship on the weekends. So if you're ever doing an order and hoping to get it quick, don't pick FedEx 2-day shipping. In fact, just plain don't pick FedEx. They stink. They ruin my parents' grass. No, seriously. They can't back out of their driveway properly, and they ruin my parents' grass. So anyway, that's the plan for today. And then if I have time, which I probably won't because it always takes longer than I think it's going to, I do need to make the attachments for the steering handles, and I've been thinking through how I want to do that, and I think I'm going to do it sort of like the ones on the original wheel wells. Trying to see if I have a wheel well handy any place. Yes, I have one under here. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. What I did was I made these little compartments on the sides of the wheel wells. It attaches to the wheel well, attaches to the floor, of course, and then to the wall. The handles originally were a little too close in. I should have angled them further out, so it needs to be a narrower compartment, and I need to measure and see if I would have enough space that I could actually use it as a storage compartment, or if I'm better off making something maybe just a little bit less intense. But unlike in the Alpha, where the handle sits in the middle of the steering column support, on the WAW it has to sit on the outside just because of how the handles are designed. The handles, let's see, they're over here still stuck inside the WAW. the handles, if you can see back in there, the handles have an angle to them. The ones that they use in the Alpha and some of the others are more straight, and because of that it can sit in the middle of the column, but these, it has to be to the outside of the column, unfortunately. So that means that I'm going to need to attach only on one side instead of on both sides. Alright, update time on the bridge. I wasn't sure that I was going to get to this today because it took me a long time to figure out the cuts for the material. The shape is just such a complex shape. There's so many things to go around. You can't do it in one piece like I could if I did a simpler bridge. But I do need more support for the wheel wells, and because of the way the WAW steering is designed, I've got to have a place for the steering bolts for the bell cranks to attach. So that, and then of course, you know, I'm adding the subframe for a carbon fiber boom. So that does make things more complex, but believe it or not, I actually got it all laid up. It's predominantly 4 layers of clocked twill, but what I did was I did it in several pieces. There's a piece that runs across here, and there's 4 layers of that clocked. I added another 5 layers in there, I think 4 or 5, and really I wouldn't have needed to do that because I ended up cutting this and wrapping it down there, and I probably have overbuilt that, but that's okay. The idler is going to attach here, so it's got a super strong point to attach to. And then I laid up a piece, 4 pieces across here that ended up overlapping up into here a little bit, and even overlapped a little bit on the top, I think. And then I laid up the sides, and then I laid up here along the front, and the overlaps, there's quite a bit of overlap along here and along here. There's overlap in here and also in here. There's overlap here on this front edge. There's a bunch of overlap in here. So even though it's 4 pieces and I ended up not using any unidirectional, I think it's going to end up being probably overbuilt in the end, which is fine. And then it's you know, up here on the wheel wells, that's going to add a lot more support to that area because they were kind of flexible before. So we'll let this lay up overnight, and hopefully it'll stay warm enough in the garage for it to cure relatively well, and I'll check it in the morning, and if it seems like it's having problems, then I'll get a heater out here. I've got a heater in the house that I could use. So that's the update. Alright, so it's the day after I laid up the bridge, and it's had a opportunity to cure, and I was able to actually pull it out. So I did get that part right, and it did work with the flash tape. It wasn't necessarily easy to get it out, and I think it's going to create some challenges getting the glue spread in there well. But I was not able to pull the mold out, much like with the wheel wells. Some parts I was able to pull out, but I had to dig a lot of it out. So here's the inside of it. I did get all of it out, including up into where the boom will attach. And here's the outside of it on both sides. And I just weighed it, and it comes in at 1 pound, 12.6 ounces. So I'm going to run out to the garage and grab the, being photobombed by my cat, I'm going to grab the original boom. I know that the original subframe. I know the original boom was quite hefty. I think the boom subframe was 5 or 6 pounds or something. It was made out of aluminum, same design as the WAW one, and it is hefty. I've never checked to see how much the bridge weighed, so I'll weigh that, but this is definitely going to cut down on weight a lot. All right, I have found what's left of the original bridge. It was made out of layer or so of fiberglass over some very thin, I think maybe 4mm plywood, and then some fillet. And then I had to reinforce here at the idler attachment point with a piece of, I'm not even sure how thick that is, 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8, not sure. Anyway, this came at 1 pound, 2.4 ounces. So obviously I'm 10.2 ounces heavier on the carbon fiber one. But remember that carbon fiber also includes the supports here on either side that runs up the wheel wells. And those, I had a support of sorts that was built into here that attached kind of up here on the top. Yep, okay. That attached here on the top that's been pulled off. So that would have added some weight. And remember that this includes the subframe to support the boom. So by the time I get the boom laid up, I think there's going to be substantial weight savings. So one more update. I've weighed a bunch of things. The wheel wells were around 6 pounds between them. I would guess that the new wheel wells, since they were built in, I couldn't weigh them, have probably saved me maybe 4 pounds, maybe 4.5. The bridge, the original bridge and the subframe was somewhere around, between the two of them, 6 or 7 pounds. The new one will probably come in just a bit over 2 pounds because I haven't made the boom yet. So that's another 4 pounds or so. The original nose with the electrical, the lighting and stuff, the lighting and the horn, that was somewhere between 6 and 7 pounds. It's hard to weigh these things exactly. The new nose comes in around 2 pounds. And then of course you need to add in the electronics, the lights and the turn signals. So I would say maybe another 4 pounds there. Maybe a little bit less, 3.5 maybe. So between those three things, I've saved possibly as much as 12 pounds, which would bring the total system weight somewhere around maybe 77 or 78 pounds. Not bad for a fiberglass build. I could probably shave another pound off if I made a new seat. And I don't know if I could save much with the rear wheel well. It's, you know, it's pretty light as it is. But I think I've probably gotten the weight savings I'm going to get. Of course, I'm going to wipe all of that out, or at least maybe 7 or 8 pounds of it, because I'm going to install a TSDZ2 e-assist. But I am going to put in a very light battery, so I think that counts. So as far as human powered, without e-assist, I think it will be a little bit easier to move down the road. And certainly I think the wheel well design will help with aerodynamics. But mostly I think it's just made just a better velomobile. So that's the exciting news.